Hello everyone, my name is Joy, and today I'm going to do a review-ish sort of thing on the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 beta. Why am I doing a look at this beta when the beta ended like last month? It's because I just bought a new editing program. I'm not using Camtasia anymore, I'm using Premiere, and I don't have a video lined up after my GTA video. So I just picked a video that I was never going to finish, and I decided I was going to finish, and that's going to be Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And if you got a problem with that, you can deal with it, because I need to put out a video. Anyway, Black Ops 3 beta, I would give it a solid B+, and I'm going to explain why. I'm going to somehow explain that by saying the cons first. The reason I'm going to say the cons first is because everyone loves hating Call of Duty and the franchise. Even though I actually kind of like it, I really enjoy all their games except for Ghost, which is terrible. Everyone hate it. Anyway, I'll start with the cons and we'll move on. So the new movement system, it feels like it's trying to find a good middle ground between the other Call of Duties and their movement styles, and the movement style that was introduced with Advanced Warfare. If you didn't play Advanced Warfare, it was essentially you could double jump, you could dash, you could double dash, you could slide, like you just saw there, and it made the game a lot faster and not a lot harder, but it did increase the skill ceiling, and it did increase the time to kill. A lot of people didn't like it, a lot of people did like it. It was sort of a 50-50 split, and it seems that Treyarch is trying to find a good middle ground to make everyone happy. And while it does do this, the maps are not designed for it. And what I mean by that, you can see me, you know, sliding and wall running. Wall running is a new thing. The maps don't feel as well crafted for the movement system as they did in Advanced Warfare. And what I mean by this is in Advanced Warfare, there were rooftops, there were special locations where you could get up to snipe, and you could only get up there by double jumping or dashing or sliding or anything like that. In Black Ops 3, sorry, I'm looking at my thing. It seems that it's just it's not as creative and well suited for the movement system. Like this wall that I'm running on right now, it's essentially the only wall suitable for wall running. It's not like you can run on every wall like you could in Titanfall, because Titanfall's map design was perfect for the movement system. In this, it just seems like there are like signpost places like, hey, you can wall run here for a couple seconds. It doesn't really give you much of a benefit. In fact, it just paints you as a bigger target and makes it a little bit harder to aim. But anyway, it's nice to have it. It feels pretty good regardless when you do wall running. It's just that the maps are just meh. They're essentially regular Call of Duty maps with a couple of areas where you can wall run. Double jumping is sort of... it's double jumping. You do it to sort of avoid enemies, avoid bullets. And instead of the double jump, it's a jetpack. And you can see in the middle there's a bar, which is your jetpack bar. You can fire it in short bursts, you can spend it all at once, and you can sort of direct yourself in the mid-air while you're using your thing. While you're using your jetpack. And it's good for what it does. It's just that these maps aren't very well made for it, and it makes it even worse when there are invisible walls. There's a map with snow, and there's like this rocky out like wall thing, and it's like, oh, I can double jump over this easy, except there's an invisible wall there and you can't. So why have a jetpack when you can't even take advantage of what a jetpack does, which is, you know, skipping over obstacles? You can see that I've run through that wall so many times during this map, because it's basically the only wall to run, except for this other one that's near the middle of the map. Anyway, moving on. We'll come back to the movement system later. The guns. The guns are, compared to Advanced Warfare, they are so uninspired. There's the Arc 7 assault rifle, which is essentially an AK-47. There's the KRM-262 pump-action shotgun, which is essentially a Spaz-12. A CUDA, it's a submachine gun. it's basically UMP. And compared to Advanced Warfare, which had a laser rifle and wrist-mounted machine guns, it's not taking advantage of the theme of this, which is like cybernetics and stuff. I think there are some classes that allow you to like have you play as a robot and you like sort of morph your hand into a minigun, but that's not part of the loadout. What's part of the loadout is your standard Call of Duty crap, you know, like your normal assault rifles that you're probably not going to deviate from once you hit level 10, and shotguns that are way overpowered. It's all the same. Comparing it to a Modern Warfare 2, these guns are hardly different, and they're not futuristic at all. They look nice, don't get me wrong, and they sound okay. Meh. I think we'll get to the audio later. But it's just, there are some interesting weapons when it comes to the, what are they called again? Specialists. When it comes to specialists, but we'll get to that later. But the actual weapons for the loadouts, they're boring. There's nothing new. Sure, the weapons in Advanced Warfare, the ones that were sort of futuristic stuff, they weren't the best, but you gotta give Sledgehammer credit for at least putting them in there. This, it just seems, yeah, it's meh. It's pretty darn meh. Anyway, moving on from the guns. The sound effects are okay. They're good ones when you're underwater, but so far, you know, it's pretty standard. Like, hold on, I'm gonna unmute. Actually, no, I'm not. Yeah. Sound effects, okay, no blowing away. They're not sort of like Halo 4 levels. They're fine. Another thing, this isn't really the game's fault, it's more the player's fault, but I still mention it anyway. Everyone still plays Team Deathmatch. And it's sort of like, it lowers the shelf life of the game because no one's playing anything else. When I played the beta, Team Deathmatch was always above 60% of the whole players, and everything else was below 50. Uplink was constantly at 1%. 1%! And Uplink is great! It's just that people are scared, I suppose. Also, it doesn't seem, this Black Ops 3 doesn't seem to link in any way to Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 1. I don't know if the story is going to help that, but so far, it just seems like Black Ops 3 is just using the title Black Ops to sell copies, because everyone liked Black Ops and Black Ops 2, so Black Ops 3 is going to make people buy a few more. That's just how I feel. Also, something that I really didn't like was that fall damage is back. In Advanced Warfare, you could jump real high and go places, and there wasn't any fall damage, so you could, you know, go where you want without risk of killing yourself. But in this, full damage is back, and it can hinder you so bad, because I don't understand why, because it makes it less appealing to do high-flying attacks like you could in Advanced Warfare with like the stomping and the jetpacking and such, because you don't want to die, and you don't want to give your enemies a easier time to kill you, cause with like half your health gone from fall damage, it's gonna suck. But anyway, yeah, I don't know why it just gives you less reason to go airborne. Also, going back to the movement system, you slow down after sliding or landing while jumping, which obviously results in a loss of momentum. This hinders the movement speed, making it just feels weird. Like you're going so fast 1 second, and then you just like sort of walk for like a second or half a second, and that half a second matters. Because in Advanced Warfare, you could keep running and running, and like you didn't lose any momentum, and you could go real fast. In this, after sliding or anything, it just seems like your character just needs to walk for a second, and then you'll get back to full speed. But that half a second or second just feels so bad, and it feels like I'm playing an injured character. I don't like that at all. I hope they get rid of that. Sniper rifles and sniper spots seem to be further neglected. I feel like as the movement system gets faster, snipers are getting more and more ignored because, you know, shooting someone who's dashing or jetpacking or wall running is much harder than a person standing still. Sniping is much harder and less appealing than it ever was with, you know, these changing movement systems. And the maps I played, I didn't see any, like, good sniper spots. Like, compared to... You see this, that's the Invisible Wall stuff, man. Compared to, you know, the original Modern Warfare that had, like, sniper towers and, like, built roofs that you can go up to. It just feels like this is not made for any snipers at all. Though not all the maps were playable in the beta, so I wouldn't know. The graphics... They're okay. I mean, they're not like mind-blowing or eye-melting. They're just like, yeah, you know, they're pretty good. I mean, I don't think they look any better than Advanced Warfare. Honestly, I think Advanced Warfare looks better. But you know, graphics, they're not bad. They're not good. Well, I mean, they're not great. They're acceptable. Going back to the map design, for maps that are for the movement system that encourages you to fly and wall run and such, there are so many instant death edges. Like, you can fall off the map and die instantly. There are way too many of those for this sort of movement, and it doesn't. It makes it even less appealing to do any more wall running or high jumping. I guess that's the point. Like, you want to risk doing the skillful stuff, though it just makes it less fun to me. So I wish they would be less death edges, like falling off the map. Though I don't think it changed that. Though it just restricts movement even more, at least for me. You still have to level up weapons for attachments. I don't know why they don't just go back to the original Black Ops where you could buy any attachment that you want, just as long as you had the money. I mean, that was the best class building system that they ever had, but now you gotta level up your weapons, so whatever. That's it for the pro. I mean, that's it for the cons. If those were the pros. Ugh. Now we move on to the cons. These specialist classes. These are sort of subclasses that sort of go with your regular classes. So you pick a specialist, and then you can create a class within that specialist. I mean, you can use the same class over all the specialists. But basically, there are 9 to choose from, and there are 4 that are unlocked at the start. Called Ruin, Outrider, Prophet, and Battery. And the rest are earned by leveling up, and require these unlock tokens, which you obtain by leveling up in multiplayer. Each has their own unique model and voice, and this adds some great personality that the game, I guess, needed, because in Ghost you could sort of create your own character, but it was meh. But it's sort of nice, because you've got each unique character with a unique voice actor, and they sort of exchange dialogue between each other, adding some, like I said, personality. Like, the Prophet will start the match by, like, who's like this dude who's heavily enhanced by cybernetics. He's like, oh, all these things check out and blah blah blah. And the Battery would just be like, what the hell is wrong with you? I think it's pretty good. And while staying on the topic of specialists, the super weapons and abilities, I don't think that's the actual name. It could be, I actually don't know. They're pretty fun, especially the weapons mostly. I felt like the abilities were not as appealing. Like the Ruins, the weapon they have are gravity spikes, which you like slam into the ground and kills everyone in a radius around you. And the ability is a speed boost. Which would you rather have? But the Prophet actually has a good ability. It's Blink, which essentially, I feel like they ripped off Trace's rewind ability. You'll see Blink in this next match. But I still think the weapons are great. I really love the gravity spikes and the bow, even though I couldn't get the bow working. the gravity spikes for Ruin, bow is for Outrider, and the arrows explode. A lightning gun, which is sort of like a precision rifle that kills people in contact by electrocuting them to death, and the battery uses I think a grenade launcher where the grenades explode into smaller grenades. It reminds me of Destiny, which is good. However, these weapons are all one-hit kills. And you don't earn them like regular score streaks, you earn them just like throughout the game. You're in the bottom right of the corner, you'll see a circle. It fills up faster when you kill people or like earn score, but it just fills up gradually on its own. So when it fills up, you've essentially got some free kills ready for you. Which might be a bit of a problem, we don't know yet, we'll have to see. But I still love the super abilities. 5 custom classes from the start. You don't need to level up to unlock them, which is great. I love that. The Pick 10 feature is back for class building, which I think is a very good way, because you can sort of like... You can sort of have no lethals, but you can have all these attachments on your assault rifle. I think the Pick 10 feature is great for class building. Just if they would let us buy things instead of having to level up guns. Something that I didn't see coming was that the knife is now a secondary weapon, and the default melee attack is now like a butt with your gun, sort of like in Halo, and requires 2 hits to kill someone with the normal melee attack, and there's no lunge with it. So if you want the knife insta-kill, you'll need to sacrifice a secondary weapon, which I think is a great way to sort of lower the bullshit knifing, but making the knife a secondary weapon is great. Keep it that way. Sight attachments don't account as normal weapon attachments, so it doesn't take up space, which is good. That just makes sense, but it's still good that they made that. Wildcards make a return. Wildcards were always fun, you know, like that was. Oh, you just saw me use blink. You know. Wildcards, you know, carry 2 primary weapons, take 2 1 perks. Pretty good. I like the wild cards. I don't use them a lot, but I still appreciate them being there. Performance-wise, the game ran above 60 FPS pretty much all the time. There were maybe a couple drops, but 99.9% of the time the game runs splendidly on Ultra with a GTX 970. So, good. Performance is great. Very little problems with latency. Only when playing in games with next to no people, like Uplink, you have a bit of problems. That's because like the only people who are playing that are like people in Japan or some shit. I don't know. And in the options menu, there's an option to turn off voice chat, which is great, because the Call of Duty community is volatile and venomous, and you don't want that shit on, especially when you're recording. And despite its flaws, I do believe the movement system strikes a decent middle ground between Advanced Warfare and the other Call of Duty games. It's just that the maps are the problem. It's not the movement system itself, it's the maps. They're not crafted and designed well enough to cater to this new movement system. While Titanfall and Advanced Warfare, their maps were made specifically to give people an advantage who knew how to use the movement system effectively. This just seems like they're just regular maps, and you can use the systems if you want. This map that we're playing on right now, it's got a few more wall running signposts, but you know, and you just saw me fall off. Like, that corner is a real bitch. Either way, I do like the movement system. I think it's very good. It's just that the maps need to be made better. Like, for those of you who play Titanfall, you could basically wall run on anything, and you could also clamp down on a wall, so you could like snipe at people while you were hanging off the side. And there was this one map where there was like giant corridors that sort of reached up to the sky, and you could take out your anti-Titan weapon and just sort of carpet bomb the entire corridor, which was great. That was amazing map design. But here it's just sort of, you can jump over stuff if you wanna. There was some maps that I did like. There was one where there's this like resort house, and that's where you can go into the water and you can run through the waterfall. That's the map you make them better. Get rid of the invisible walls too, because that's a real pain in the ass, I gotta tell you. Also, this is the shotgun I was talking about. It's essentially a Spaz 12. It's got like high power and a decent range. So if you're playing like a class like the Prophet that can blink behind enemies, no way, it's called glitch. Yeah, it's called glitch. Yeah, you should use a shotgun. There are a couple of class and sub specialist combos that would do well, like a shotgun with a Prophet or a Ruin, because those classes can get up close, except the Prophet's super weapon is fired usually at range. Overall, Black Ops 3 is a pretty good game. Is it better than Advanced Warfare? No. It just needs work on the maps to cater to the movement system. And if you have the money, you should probably get it. Just be careful. If you don't like invisible walls, don't get it. And if you're a fan of the Call of Duty, you've probably already pre-ordered the thing. To which I say, why the hell are you pre-ordering? But you're an adult, do what you want with your money. So, it's, how long do we have in this? We've got another 9 minutes. I might just let the last match sort of be the last match. But anyway, there are a few things to look forward to that weren't in the beta. First thing is the paint shop. It allows you to personalize your guns, like give them custom paint jobs. I don't know what it is specifically. They teased it in the multiplayer reveal at E3, I think it was. It sort of like super cut through what you could do. Didn't really give much insight, but I am looking forward to that. I think more personalization, especially with the guns, is needed, especially now that they're so regular and mundane. They don't really stand out, so the way you can make them stand out is by giving them your own paint job. There's also a thing called the gunsmith. I have no idea what that is. I saw it as an option, it was locked, and I have no idea. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe, I don't know if it's going to be anything like the sort of gunsmith weapon customization in Metal Gear Solid 5. Probably not, but we'll see. Co-op campaigning. That looks like a really good experience. It's very engaging with your friends, like custom cutscenes where you look at different perspectives with your friends depending on who you are playing as. I think the co-op campaign is going to be wonderful. I remember the co-op campaign in Call of Duty 5, World at War. It wasn't crafted specifically for co-op, but it was still nice that it was there, and I don't think it ever turned up until now. But it's nice that co-op is getting its own special campaign. Zombies. The theme is great, sort of like 1940s gangsters, and I really love that, and they're sort of like weird putrid aliens, I guess. I don't know. But I like the theme that's going with zombies, and it'll be fun to have it back, not as a bloody DLC sledgehammer. That is the one thing you did wrong. Anyway, that's basically Black Ops 3. Also, a fair warning to any of you who stream this game, do not open the network options in the options menu, because it will show your IP address. No! That's a good way to get DDoSed. So if you're going to stream this game when it comes out, do not open that, otherwise you are effed. But anyway, that is Black Ops 3, that is all I had to say. I think I'll just let this, the rest of this last game be the last game. And until then, enjoy the rest of whatever the hell it is your Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and goodbye.
Battery wasted. Flash. That's a kill.
HCXD inbound.
Tube is recharged. Nice work. Threat neutralized.
Ready to assault. Ruin KIA.
Boomer down.
She's gone.
UAV inbound.
They're gone.
Friendly UAV inbound.
Enemy FO down. Frag! Move! RPG! They're gone. Battery kill.
Can't confirm.
Shut out.
This battle is ours to lose. Don't!
Good effect. Fire for effect. Outrider neutralized.
They were no match for us. Mission successful.
Crushed it.